So, this episode's going to be all about the AI and how to add some functionality to the enemies in our game. So, we've got this BP enemy character, and if I play this, no matter where we are in the world, he can instantly see us, he walks up to us, and he just hits us repeatedly until we die. When we die, we clear the game full of all the AI and respawn the player. And so, if I go over to let's start from here, content, blueprints, characters, and enemy character. This is his base blueprint. So, this is how we take damage. The event affects health. This is how the enemy is taking damage. And then once he's died, we're enabling his physics, so that's how they can be kicked around, and they play their death animation as well. The next bit is how they actually hurt us. So what happens is, on overlapping with this melee box here, we cast to the hero. And then we start a timer, and this timer fires off attacks per second, 1 per second, and that timer is called damage the hero, and this is the event for that. And then we just get our variable that is for hero, and we've set that when we overlapped, and then the amount that we damage. So every 1 second we're going to be doing 20 damage. So that's why it's in a negative, because we don't want to be healing ourselves. Or maybe that's what you want. You could, I suppose, create some sort of thing that follows you around and heals you if you gave this a positive amount. On ending overlap, you clear the timer, and that's it. So let's see how we can start building on this. I'm going to create a child blueprint class, and then what we got when we open up this is some of the easily editable variables, so that we've got some easily changeable things to start us off. So we can make this enemy, I don't know, pink, and this one is only going to do 5 damage, but his attacks are going to be 5 a second, so actually he does more damage to us, and he's worth how much score when we kill him. We can change that. We'll do 50. Okay. So now you'll notice he has a health here. That can't be changed because it's been programmed in C++. So unless you were to jump into the C++ project, you won't be able to change that. And same with is dead, that just gets changed in the when his health has run out. What you could do is, if we go into here, where we've got this event affect health, the amount of damage that he has taken is being passed through here. You could just multiply this value by another float, and then you could say promote this to here, and then we could call this damage modifier. Okay, so what I've done is create a new variable, which is of type float, and the reason I've called it damage modifier is because we're multiplying the amount of damage that is being passed through by the damage modifier before we calculate the health. So now, if we wanted enemy child, so damage modifier is now here, to have half the amount of health, we would just do the damage modifier, so we're doing double the amount of damage. So you've just got to do a small bit of maths to figure out exactly how many hits you want different guns to be doing to this enemy. So now we've got that. Let's drag him in. And now this is the other thing. So we can see now we've got the two types of hits happening to us. But let's say we wanted these guys to seem a bit more intelligent rather than having this omnipresent knowledge and being able to just find us straight away. So let's try and give them some sight and hearing. What I'm going to do is go into your parent class enemy, because we'll give them all the ability, and then you can tweak the variables afterwards on how far you want them to see, how wide, and how much you want them to be able to hear. We're going to add a component, and we're going to add, I think, so there's AI perception and there's pawn sensing. I think pawn sensing will be better for us for this this tutorial. And I think that's all we need. There are a few components here. So just having a look at AI perception, it looks like there's a bit more control in this one for what we can see. So sensing your team, sight prediction, hearing, and so forth. Whereas pawn sensing is sight and hearing really. And a few other things that they can sense with the tick boxes. So if we go into the viewport now, and I change this peripheral vision angle. So right now it's at 90 degrees. So let's see, we should be able to, there we go, see that in the world, what 90 degrees looks like. And that is 90 degrees from the front over to its right side, and then 90 degrees to the left as well. So it's actually 180 degree vision really, thinking of each eyeball. So if you wanted more of a cone, we change this to 45 degrees. And look at that. Now we've got a cone of vision in front of us, which is a bit more forgiving, I guess, for you to be able to walk over here, for example, and not get seen. The next thing we can change is his hearing, and I want to just reduce his sight radius down to 1,000 just for the testing purposes, but you can tweak this as well. And I'm going to change his hearing to 200, and then the LOS hearing threshold. So loudness can be heard if unoccluded. What this means is we're going to have two circles here. This blue sphere around is his hearing that he can hear no matter what, this AI. Whereas if a wall was occluding this AI and he was walking past, if we were in this yellow bit here, he would not be able to hear us. But if we got into this blue circle, even though we're occluded, he would be able to hear us. Now, if this wall wasn't there, he'd be able to hear us in the entire circle, as long as we're not occluded. So that's what that means. So if you were developing some sort of stealth-based game where you want to be able to hide behind boxes, that's maybe be something that you want to play around with. So we've got max hearing sound age should be greater than the sensing interval. So this is how often he will sense. So when we say that the AI can see and hear, what we really mean is that he will just use that sphere and this cone and detect if something is in it. It just fires an event, and how often can he do that. Well, will be doing that. So every 0.5 seconds is probably a nice amount of time, just so you can help with gameplay in those sort of I don't know if you've ever played a Splinter Cell game where you've just walked in front of somebody and then got out of there. Maybe their sensing interval was just low enough for you to be able to get out of in time. So you could play around with that interval as well, and how long, how old a sound that was made could be heard. So we can hear noises, we can see pawns, and we can only sense players, which is exactly what we want. So that seems fine for me at the moment. Now, if you wanted for him to only have sight, you could easily just tick that. And then, even though he's got these spheres around him, they are not doing anything, okay? But we want him to be able to hear. The next thing is, it's all very well and good that the enemy can sense stuff. But the other thing that we need is our hero character to be able to make noise. So he can be seen, of course, because he exists, but noise, we're not talking about audio in here. We're just talking about programmed, like how the AI communicates and understands what quote unquote is noise. It's not really making any sound that we can perceptually hear. It's just for the AI to be able to communicate with each other. And if you wanted to make this more realistic, you could then attach some audio files to it. So we've got that as well. So we've given ourselves a noise emitter. The next thing that we might want to do is, so we've got this and we've got this, but we're not doing anything with it. So we haven't told the enemy what to do with this sight or hearing. Nothing else is changing. If we play, they still just instantly see us. And it's because we haven't put any sort of variables in here to say, oh, wait until you've actually seen the player to be able to do anything. So that's where we're going to, we'll start with the character first and be able to make some noises. So if I drag this out and let's see, there we go. So let's make noise when we walk. That's probably the simplest thing to do. And we've got to do it on both events. The loudness of, in fact, actually, I'm being silly, I can just fire this into here. Just do it once for neatness. So we've got the target is the pawn noise emitter. The noise maker will be ourself, and the location will be our self's location. So if we get actor location and just plug that into there with a loudness of, let's try 0.8. The next thing we have to do is find our AI. So our AI controller in here. So if we go up one into the blueprints and we go into here, this is the very complicated AI that I've made. And as you can see, event begin play, start a timer. Every second, try to follow the player. And it will fire this event. So that's why sometimes when the enemy gets to you in the game, oh no, don't want to do that. There we go. if we go into there, and then it'll just take a quick second before they start following us because the event's got to be fired again. Because once it does it, it will say it's got this acceptance radius of, okay, I have completed this chain of commands. What we're going to do in here is cast to enemy character, which will be the controlled pawn, and we're also going to we're going to need a branch in here to say if something is true, to move to the enemy, and if something is not true, to just do nothing. So I'm going to compile that, and we'll come back to this in a minute. So this is in the enemy AI blueprint. We're going to go back to our enemy character, and we're going to create a variable in here, which will be a boolean, and we can call this detected player. And we'll compile this and make sure by default it should be false. And then we will get our pawn sensing, and let's see what events we've got from this. So is it vision? No. Let's see. Oh, right, there we go. I'm being silly. They're here. On C pawn, on hear noise. So we probably want that one. And that one. Okay. So from here on this, and we will set detected on C pawn. We will set that to true, and on hear noise we will also set that to true. Let's see how that goes for us, and we might have to make that a bit more complicated. Then if we get detected player, so now when the enemy spawns in a world, this variable detected player is false, and only once it has either saw us or heard us will detected player be set to true. In his AI, in his brain, this is the thing that gives him instructions. So he is going to still be trying to follow the player, and he's going to just check with that individual enemy that he's controlling, have you actually detected the player every second? And if it's true, he will move to you. If it's false, he'll do nothing. So I'm just going to put in a little print string here, and then say I have not saw the player yet. Okay, and let's see what happens. Hopefully that should be as complicated as this gets. I have not saw the player yet, but he heard me. So neither of them have saw the player, but when I get closer, there we go, he hears me. And then there we go, and now that print string has stopped firing. So we could continue to build on that, but I feel like the video's probably gotten long enough for you, so we'll do something like patrolling in another video. Okay, thanks a lot.